and welcome to Inclusive Design 2021 pre-conference. I'm Leonie Watson, and in a little under 30 minutes, we're going to be live with the first of 24 talks covering a huge range of topics around accessibility and inclusive design. Meanwhile, here in the countdown, I'm joined by several of the ID24 crew, including Ian.
Hello.
Patrick.
Can't find the mute button. Hello.
Adrian.
Good day.
Hans.
Hello.
And last but not least here right now is Thomas.
Konnichiwa.
We're also really happy to be joined by some of our Platinum supporters, without whom, of course, ID24 just wouldn't be the event that it is. Before I turn to our Platinum guests, I'd like to welcome Mike Paciello. Mike was the person who really made the very first ID24 possible, what feels like many years ago now. Welcome, Mike. Why is Inclusive Design 24 something you've chosen to support all these years?
Boy, I don't even have an answer for that. I'm just glad to be here to be a part of it year after year. I keep getting older and this thing starts to date me. So, hey, who doesn't want to be online listening 24 hours straight to some of the greatest professionals and experts in the world on the topic of technology and disabilities? So that's why I'm here.
That's good enough. And Stuart, hey, you're joining us from Intopia. Intopia's been one of our longest standing supporters for ID24, so it's lovely to see you here. What makes ID24 important to you and the team at Intopia?
Yeah, I think for us, it's been great supporting ID24, and I think it's a lot to do with the fact of just getting free knowledge out there and free content and information out there, but all in a really positive way that anyone can access and learn from. And that's one thing we're big fans of, is just any way we can get people to have a safe space to learn, enjoy, and do better is really great. So yeah, no, all power to everyone that's helping drive ID24 again this year. We know how much effort it takes to put these things together. So yeah, big supporters from that perspective.
Thank you, and thank you for your help. And Samuel Prue from Fable Labs, you've joined us as a Platinum supporter this year as well. And does that resonate for you and the team then?
Absolutely. You know, Fable, ID24 has been a part of our culture at Fable since we began as a company. One of the very first events that we ever hosted at our offices back then in Toronto in the kind of before COVID times was an in-person ID24 watch party. And for us, it's really about the inclusivity. There's no registration. The conference is easy to access. Everyone can be a part of it. Everyone can learn about accessibility. And it's also really important to us, the variety of presenters that we have. You know, there's lots of people with disabilities. There's people from all walks of life. There's people from all different kinds of professions. And as a company that focuses on inclusive design, on including the voices of people with disabilities, that's really important to us and something else that we love about ID24.
That's really good to hear, and it's a continuing mission for us. You know, we would be the first to admit we're a long way from perfect. We want to get even more diverse, and we try hard every year, and with help from all our supporters, hopefully we get a little bit closer to, you know, the gold standard each year we try. Dave O'Neill, you're joining us from TPG Interactive and specifically the ARC team. What brought you to Inclusive Design 24 this year?
Well, first of all, thanks, Leonie, and thanks to everybody for all the hard work that goes into pulling off such a great event. And this is my first ID24, and it's going to be a real test of my stamina. I'm going to see if I can actually pull off an all-nighter. It's been many years since I've done that, but clearly from the topics, it's surely going to be worth it. So why is TPGI and ARC interested in sponsoring this? Because it's really very important. I think a lot of us in the field, we get really buried in the technical aspects of what we do, you know, the compliance, the technology, and it can be easy to lose sight of the fact that accessibility is all about inclusion. And I think it's these types of gatherings of people in the field and the topics that we're going to discuss that kind of reinforces that principle for us all. And for that reason, we think this is very important to sponsor. And thank you for everybody who's going to present, and good luck. I know everybody can do a great job, and we're all going to learn something new today.
Thanks, David. Thank you to all of you for your kind of message. I think between you, you've really summed up why certainly, I do this, and I think I can say as much on behalf of the rest of the crew as well. It's getting knowledge out there to an amazing community that's just so willing to contribute and help each other out. So if we can continue that mission, that's really good news. And talking of which, we've got some great talks coming up. I'm going to turn back to the crew now. Adrian, have you got any particular talks that you're looking forward to, or anything in the conference this year?
I always have a pile that I want to see, which ruins my sleep. But I'm excited that the first talk I'm hosting is also early in the night. One of the ones I really want to see by Amy June Heinlein, which is the accessible, the title is talking about, Beyond 99 Red Balloons, a Pragmatic Guide to Alternative Text. And given how many clients I've worked with who seem to dismiss alternative text as a few words and you're done, I'm excited to see anything that's got both an 80s theme, which is already a winner, and is going to go into some depth about writing alternative text in a way that is actually helpful to users. So I'm pretty excited about that. I could ramble on about the rest, but I should let somebody else talk.
Yeah, I agree with you. And yeah, great song as well. Hans, anything you're looking forward to particularly?
Yeah, well, as a gamer, I'm really looking forward to the Inclusivity in Gaming session by Faith McGee. And I think all 24 sessions are really good this year. Another one that stood out to me was the one about reducing motion on the web by, I'm probably going to mispronounce this, but it's Eva Jona Panula. I think that's a topic that a lot of people in the accessibility space are still a bit unfamiliar with. So it's good to get an introduction to that. And the third one that I was thinking of was the Accessible SVG Masterclass by Carrie Fisher. But
Yes.
just because I'm hoping there'll be some kind of Star Wars joke in there.
She's going to go right off you know that, don't you? But yeah, I'm looking forward to that SVG one too. Samuel, anything you're looking forward to in the next 24 hours particularly?
Oh my goodness. All of the talks are so incredibly important. But the talk "There Is No Average Person" by Lee Dale is really exciting to me, because that's one of the most important messages, I think, in inclusion and inclusive design. One of the books that sort of changed the way I think about accessibility the most was the book "The End of Average" by Todd Rose. So it's just a talk that is on a subject that really resonates with me. And of course, the talk on inclusive design and gaming, starting with code, is also really exciting, because that is a space that is progressing incredibly quickly just in the last year or two when it comes to accessibility. And I think that everyone will learn so many new and interesting techniques about accessibility and design and presentation from the gaming industry that can be applied industry-wide. And so it's really exciting to see that progress that's happening there.
Right, they do seem to be making some, amazing progress in some of the real, high-level AAA games are doing some pretty impressive things, which is, something we can all hope to follow, I think. Thomas, I know you've got sort of various interests across the accessibility arena. Anything particularly you're looking forward to?
Yes, so I'm definitely excited being here in Japan for Kenji Yanagawa to do Can People with Disabilities Use VR? It's going to be an experiment here at ID24 using the Japanese technology called UdiTalk to translate into multiple languages. Kind of excited to see how that can work for inclusion, thinking about not speaking Japanese, still trying to do, but using the captions from an auto-translated tool with real provided captions. And I'm also excited for Dennis Limbray's mouse accessibility, just because I love the counterculture of always hearing about keyboard accessibility, and love to see and learn what he has to say about mouse accessibility.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, the Japanese talk, Kenji's talk in particular, that's going to be an edgy moment for the organising crew, because there's lots of moving parts. But it's going to be great, and I think it'll be a really nice addition to the lineup this year. Dave, which talks have caught your eye?
Is it Dave O'Neill?
Sorry, yes.
No, it's okay. It's all good. There's actually several. I'm really looking for ways to present the importance of inclusion to our clients from a usability perspective. And so I'm leaning towards sessions that, like auditorial, innovative approach to inclusive storytelling. And I'm also leaning towards sessions where we have team engagement and we get teams thinking about inclusion. So there's a session that's dealing inclusive teams create inclusive products. So these are the sessions that thematically I want to try and catch.
Great. Yeah, I think, I'm with you on a lot of those. Absolutely, for sure. Ian, I know you're in broadcast control at the moment, but any talks on your radar?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll pick two. I think the opening talk from Crystal Preston-Watson, everyone should have WAP, web accessibility, please, I think is great. It's going to be great. Really interested in that one. And also, the inclusive design is fast by design talk from Simon Hearn, I think is going to be a really interesting one. I'm always happy to see talks from some people outside of that sort of traditional accessibility and inclusive design bubble. I know Simon is someone who's very interested in great user experiences, but he is known more in the web performance arena, and so having that sort of cross discipline share of knowledge is really great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's so key to accessibility, good inclusive design as well. You say, yeah, that idea of sharing knowledge for sure, and that's why we're all here. Mike, have you got any?
Oh yeah, I think we've gone through the whole list, so it doesn't leave me a whole lot of originality. But I will tell you just a little. I saw that very first talk. Is it Crystal? Crystal Preston-Watson. Everyone should have WAP. I have to tell you, I had a little bit of a nightmare with that because what a few people probably know is that the original name of the Web Accessibility Initiative was WAP. It was the Web Accessibility Project. So I thought, oh no, someone's going back and they're going to rehash the old history of what we had with WAY. But that's that. So I thought that was interesting. I think it was David was talking about inclusive design. I see 3 or 4 talks there that I think that I will definitely be interested in watching those. I definitely want to watch or listen to the one by Kenji on VR that Thomas mentioned, in gaming as well. So quite a bit, a good variety, I think, this year for some interesting talks.
Definitely. And Stuart, same question to you. Anything particularly you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I'll probably be in the first instance a little bit on the bias side because I've got Claire Weber and Sarah Police from our team doing their presentation on annotation designs for accessibility. And having watched the work they've been doing around making this happen around Figma and the conversations we've been having internally, it's really fascinating, that stuff that they've been doing, particularly when we start to move into that zone of these design products that are not generally accessible to start with. And so how do you start to instigate accessibility into ways of working? And that sort of goes also into some of the conversations others have said. A lot of my interest is how do you get organizations and businesses to actually think about accessibility and inclusive design very early in the pieces. So there's other presentations out there which are looking great. I'm going to call out Donna Bungard's one around how project management empowers accessibility. Again, to me, it's like, doesn't matter how good we talk about it technically, we've got to get into to general business conversations in order to make some of that big changes across organizations. So seeing these sort of conversations which start to affect the ways of working are all really positive ones for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the annotating designs talk from Sarah and Claire as well. As you say, that's such a good thing to be encouraging people to do. Think about it at the design stage and trickle that down through the production process. Patrick, I think we've just got time for your look forwards. What's on your radar?
Well, as said, most talks have already been taken, but no, one that caught my eye was the accessible workflows for inclusive publishing with Leah Brochu and Daniela Levo Pinto. Mainly because I don't know enough, or I feel I don't know enough about EPUB and all of that aspect. So it'll be nice to hear some of the intricacies of that world of publishing rather than just pure web publishing.
Absolutely. And for much the same reason, Meryl's talk is one I'm looking forward to. All about sort of concepts around people who are deaf and hard of hearing. It's something I certainly want to learn more about. So for me, that's one that hasn't already been mentioned, that's on my watch list for today. And with that, I think we are just about out of time for this pre-conference session. Once again, Stuart, Dave, and Samuel, thank you so much for your support of ID24 this year. And also, I should give a shout out to Andrew Kirkpatrick and the team at Adobe Access, our other platinum sponsors who weren't able to join us here today, but to whom we're also extremely thankful. Mike, as always, it's been a pleasure. And so I will close this session now by reminding everybody that we will be back in just over 10 minutes with the first of our talks. So time to grab some refreshments, get yourself settled in and comfortable, and we will be back with you in 10 minutes.